Main sort of scope of fiction and how that sort of extends over time, to Shakespeare, and also the sort of aspects of how you teach all those different elements, and in that there's been also the opportunity to ask questions and to really sort of gauge our understanding of said subject before we then apply it to our students. So there's been the sort of from the beginning of literature, but as much as you can under sort of 16 sessions really.
Right from the start of the year we started with dance, swimming and what was another one? Table tennis, and they were really good at the start because they were sports that I didn't have much knowledge on, and it definitely benefited me greatly in dance because I taught that within my first 2 weeks of teaching. Any of the sports that you were weak on?
To be fair, I'd agree with that. The table tennis was one that really helped me as well. I taught like a large block of table tennis in both home and alternate schools. And I feel like we were kind of pretty well equipped to actually do that sort of quite efficiently, due to actually having that subject knowledge session towards the start of the year.
Yeah, and for me I'd probably say we had athletics at the end of the year, which was good. It kind of tied into what we was teaching with our curriculums in most of our home schools as well, so we had the opportunity to learn about the different types of events, the skills that we needed to teach, and then the opportunity to teach that to our peers and then to take that away to our home schools and teach the students, which was really nice.
Yeah, so our subject knowledge kind of flowed really well throughout the year with what we were teaching, so you were never stuck really for what you had to teach.
My individual areas for development, I'd say one was more the English language, as I did my degree background was with literature and creative writing. So it had been a while since I'd had sort of formal study of English language, and I think as well being out of education, so as I came from a different industry, and one particular area of development was more specifically language with regard to the GCSE criteria. So that's something that the SD team have really helped me develop and sort of address within my practice.
I think mine was the opposite. So mine was I graduated in linguistics and English language, so I focused massively on those aspects of English in comparison to literature. So I had to do a lot more development around literature and finding teaching strategies to support learners in the classroom, which we worked a lot on, and poetry. We did a lot of subject knowledge with our lead at the SD at School Director at Durton to improve our understanding of how to go about teaching it in the classroom, but also how to help students develop their own understanding.
And I would just say generally I have a background in language and literature, but it was more a case of confidence when it came to teaching literature. I think that applying language was easier for me. So I think that, over time I definitely feel a huge sort of, I suppose, weight has been lifted, because I can see now I'm able to kind of do that through the help at SD, and especially through that sort of, the style of this is how I do it and these are the sort of methods I take. So that's really helped me over time.
Yeah, I think as well regarding development of weaknesses, one of the benefits of being with the SD team was the subject knowledge sessions have been very adaptive. We've been listened to with regard to our weaknesses and the areas we can improve upon, and we've had the opportunity to have some cross-curricular sessions with drama and then incorporating things from history and media as well, and that's something that I don't think you get within the subject development on a core programme.
And I feel as though any sort of doubt or query was really looked into, and personally I feel quite really supported that, if I had any sort of how can I teach it in this way, or would you have taken this model or approach, that was really met on a sort of personal level and individual sort of level. So yeah, on the whole I feel really supported, which
outside of the sessions as well, if we had any queries about how to teach a specific lesson, we always knew who to go to, which was great.
So for me, I'd say probably things such as like cricket, table tennis, like I spoke about, badminton, and we have had subject knowledge sessions on all of those sports. So I do feel like now they're not sort of weaknesses really. That I wouldn't count them as big weaknesses really at all anymore. And I have been able to teach lessons in all those sports, you know, with relative success as well. So I feel like that has really helped having those sessions.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dance was one of my probably gaps in my subject knowledge, and having that session at the beginning of the academic year really made me feel confident to take things away from that and then deliver to the students on placement.
My weakness was definitely in football, and I feel like it's been a major development of mine throughout the year through independent subject knowledge as well as sessions that have been put on, observing teachers. So I've been attending football outside of school to make sure that I'm capable of teaching those lessons to year 7 to 11. Mine, I would have to say, is definitely the hockey one. We had somebody coming from St Michael's High School, and the session that she brought on was absolutely incredible at how to start from lower ability all the way up to higher ability and how you can adapt those lessons throughout. And it was a big chunk of my teaching in October to December, so it was really beneficial.
For me, it was definitely swimming. I'm not a really confident swimmer, so to see a teacher and take the bits of advice and how they would teach like a stroke or a skill in swimming was really beneficial to me, to learn them things and take them things away for my own development and for potential students that I might teach in the future.
Personally, I feel like teaching Shakespeare. Obviously, it's one of those areas whereby students tend to worry and feel a lot of anxiety over, and through that, then you also take on that sort of thought process as well. But through sort of really breaking it down, and we've had like acting out sessions, which has allowed us to gain our sort of confidence there, because at the forefront of things we are English teachers, but with that also comes the responsibility of modelling drama skills and performing verbally. So I think that that's really helped me sort of the Shakespeare side of things.
Yeah, I'd say it's similar for me. I think the cross-curricular things that we've done with drama have really helped and sort of moulded my kind of teaching persona and my style of teaching. I think using the sort of confidence it's given me to use other sources, such as pictures and paintings alongside the texts themselves, that's really allowed me to sort of come at things from a different angle, which has helped a lot of the pupils, particularly pupils that struggle or pupils within sort of nurture groups or pupils with English as an additional language. It's helped me make my lessons a lot more accessible to them. I think that's benefited all of us.
Yeah, I think in terms of knowing how to teach as well, I think the sessions have helped us find different adaptive techniques and strategies for all learners, not just finding one way. So I think recently we've found ourselves, instead of saying how do we teach this, it's more so as giving ideas of how, different ways to put it into practice in the classroom, which has been great to see.